All right, look, let's talk about Brian Daboll. Now, a report came out from Pat Leonard, who can't be trusted. Can't trust Pat Leonard, but report came out from Pat Leonard that Daboll's a menace. Now, this could be the Wink Martindale clapback. This could be his last stand. This is him dumping his clip. You know, last week the Giants pretty much just threw Wink all the way under the bus, exposing all the things that he did. Now it's time for Wink to get some get back. Now, full disclosure, I've grown to appreciate Brian Daboll as the season progresses because we got to give credit where credit's due. Joe Judge went into a tank. Like, the team hated him. Like, we were pathetic the last 6 games of 2021 without Daniel Jones. McAdoo, we were pathetic. Shermer should have kept his job. You know, the team played well under Shermer, but that's because Daniel Jones was actually good his rookie year. You know what I'm saying? But after going through Joe Judge, after living through McAdoo, it was nice to see the team fight so hard down the stretch. Brian Daboll, everything that I'm about to tell you about Brian Daboll is why I actually like Brian Daboll. Him beating the Eagles, him saying fuck you to every Italian in New York and Jersey and benching Tommy DeVito just to beat the Eagles. That's the kind of coach we need to get over the top. Tyrod Taylor had no business playing any snaps last season once Tommy DeVito came in and started winning games. He didn't. He had no business playing. We know Tommy DeVito's our backup going into next season. We're supposed to get him as much experience as reps as possible. But that sociopath, that menace, Brian Daboll, Daboll the menace, wanted to beat the Eagles. And I'm cool with that. And when I hear stories about Brian Daboll going a little too far with his coaching staff, you know what Big Fish says to that? So what? Because at the end of the day, Brian Daboll is consistent. You see, if y'all go back to my content back in September, if you remember, I had a fit when he aired out Daniel Jones after that pick six. Remember when Daniel came back to the sideline after throwing a pick six and Daboll just showed him up like there was no tomorrow? Like, Daboll really, really laid into Daniel Jones on Monday Night Football for the entire world to see. I didn't like that. I didn't. I didn't like it. And quite frankly, I still don't, because I want him to be a little bit more composed. But what happened was I thought he was bullying Daniel. When he did that, I just thought he was bullying Daniel Jones. But once I saw him curse out Tyrod Taylor and saw him air out Wink Martindale a couple times on the sideline, once I saw him curse out the offensive line after giving up too many, I was like, okay, it's not just bullying Daniel Jones. Brian Daboll's just a hothead. He's a menace. And I'm cool with that because he's consistent. Whether it's cursing out the players, cursing out his coaching staff, you know what you're going to get when you rock it with Brian Daboll. I can respect that. You know why I can respect that? Because I ain't never seen a statue built by a committee. I ain't never seen a statue built by men who are liked. Men who demand respect get statues. Men who demand respect win Super Bowls. Did anybody like Tom Coughlin? The motherfucker said if you're 5 minutes early, you're 5 minutes late. What are we talking about? Michael Strahan hated Coughlin. Tiki Barber retired early because he hated Coughlin. They had to make Coughlin lighten up. They had to make Coughlin be nice. They had to force him to be a nice guy. Let's call it what it is. The second greatest coach in Giants history, Tom Coughlin, they had to make him be a nice guy. You think Bill Parcells was a nice guy? Bill Parcells cursed out Bill Belichick multiple times. If the greatest head coach of all time can take criticism, you think I give a damn about fucking Kafka and Wink Martindale feelings? Because the report is Kafka got his feelings because Brian Daboll took the play calling. The report is Wink Martindale got his feelings because Brian Daboll cursed him out because he didn't confront him on the Cowboy game plan. Sorry, Wink, But if your head coach tells you to do something and you go AWOL and he curse you out, you can't get mad. Because you were told to do something and you didn't do it. And then you had the balls to ignore him when he asked for an explanation. I'd curse you out too. Like, come on, man. This whole report that Brian Daboll was undressing the coaches through the headset, that he was yelling at coaches through the headset so bad that Joe Shane had to listen in just to believe it. I don't give a damn, bro. If that's what it takes to beat the Eagles, so be it. If that's what it takes to beat the Bills, because we should have beat the Bills. If that's what it takes to beat the Rams, because we should have beat the Rams, then so be it. Everybody want to be nice. Everybody want to be everybody's friend. When you're a leader, you can't be nobody's friend. Your job is to get results, not get Christmas cards. Like, what are we talking about? Oh, Brian Daboll yells at his staff too much. Brian Daboll makes it personal when he undresses people. Shut up. I'm sorry. Name one. I want one Giants fan to come on my comment section with the audacity to tell me that you would rather have Kafka calling plays instead of Brian Daboll. I'll wait. I know one thing. It's been confirmed that Brian Daboll called the plays the second half of that Arizona game. Oh, we could confirm that. They said Brian Daboll was snatch play calling duties multiple times from Mike Kafka to spark the offense and then give it back. Come on, man. Mike Kafka offense was buns. All that Kansas City wide receiver motion behind the line of scrimmage, shit, it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, respect my coach. I rock with Daboll. You need a psychopath on the sideline. He is a little too emotional. I get it. But that's him. That's him. He's a little too emotional, but that's him. Guess what? You know what the opposite of Brian Daboll is? If all these reports are supposed to be true, that Brian Daboll is basically a hothead, right? If all these reports is true that Brian Daboll can't control his emotions, guess what? Did anybody have a problem with Tony Dungy being too cool? Yeah, let's talk about that. Does anybody have a problem with Tony Dungy being a little too cool on the sidelines? Because for every hothead, there's a cool, calm, and collected guy. So, Giants fans, what would you rather have? Would you rather have the Tony Dungy, the guy who never raises his voice? Or would you rather have the Tom Coughlin cursing out punters at the kick returns, Brian Daboll cursing out Daniel Jones at the pick sixes? Or would you rather have that guy? Because all you telling me with this report about Brian Daboll is, okay, he's Tom Coughlin. It's just that when Tom Coughlin did it, it was in the mid-2000s. 07, 08, 2010. Before the pussification of America spread throughout the country like a damn virus. And everybody became soft, and everybody became in their feelings, and it was okay, and it was basically okay to admit that you pussy, okay? Before, you know, back when Coughlin did it, you was pussy if you complained about it. Coughlin cursed me out. Coughlin made me feel bad. You would have got fired for that shit. But when Brian Daboll do it 15 years later, it's a problem. Because the world has told you that your feelings matter. You're getting paid. These are 6-figure jobs. You can't take a little bit of constructive criticism. I know people working at McDonald's getting cursed out by supervisors right now. I know janitors working at hotels getting cursed out for not cleaning toilets good enough right now. And you got head coaches out here crying with they little, what was Wink Martindale get? $3 million. Wink Martindale getting paid $3 million a year, and he crying because Brian Daboll cursed him out for not doing his job. What the hell are we talking about? What are we talking about right now? What conversation are we really having right now? What are we trying to get to? What are you insinuating right now with this conversation about Brian Daboll being unfit to be a head coach? Maybe Wink Martindale and Mike Kafka aren't fit to be coordinators. Have you thought about that? I bet you the Eagles wish they had Brian Daboll, somebody who would have held them players accountable. I bet you Dallas wish they had a Brian Daboll who would have cursed out Dak Prescott immediately. Did you imagine if Dak was the quarterback of the Giants throwing pick sixes in a playoff game? Brian Daboll might have slapped him with the clipboard. Could you imagine? But anyway, Fisk unit question of the day is this. Who would you rather have? Brian Daboll cursing out players for not doing their job? Or go back to the Pat Shurmur, Ben McAdoo, everything's going to be okay coach who didn't hold players accountable? What would you rather have? Throw those FUs in my chat if you're rocking with me. My name is Fisk Vegas, and I approve this message.